Yes, people. What's going on? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to the Straightjacket podcast 300 and I believe 67. We are here on the back of a big win. Big win against Arsenal. We never call them Arsenal. We call them Arsenal. You know what I mean? We're here live and direct.
Excuse me, the ass.
That's what we
call them, the ass.
The ass. There you go, man. Minna's in the building.
Oh,
Minna.
hold that FC.
Hold that Arsenal. You know what I'm saying? Minna, how are you? Everything all good?
Yeah, man, I'm good. Listen, a lot of my friends, my family, no one's picking up my phone calls. Wallahi, since yesterday, no one is. But when Arsenal beat us in the past, the first bam, my phone's ringing before the games even ended.
It's mad, innit?
Yeah, it's mad and then yeah.
Mad how the phone just stops working, innit? When they lose, it's crazy. But they're on social media, they're active. They're very much active. Nuruddin, how about you, man?
Bro. I'm still trying to get going back to work after being ill for a long time. But I still had energy for them. I finished them yesterday. If you watch my match reaction, I went in.
Yeah, I see that.
I went in. But big up Minna. I'm so happy and Musa. I'm so happy for all the Cockney Reds. This is their time now. The last week Saturday was our time. Yeah, we lived in history, yeah. In the derby, it was our time. This time is for the Cockney Reds. Cockney Reds, no mercy. Absolutely show no mercy. So yeah, I'm so happy for the Cockney Reds because I can imagine that in families, you know what I mean, cousins, relatives, neighbors, everybody's just doing what they're doing. So it is the biggest thing. Like what's happening is that now they said, Saeed, even in my preview, I said, you know what? If they go ahead, it's going to be a dangerous time for us. But Saeed, I didn't take into consideration that they're absolute bottle jobs. They start shitting themselves. Yeah. They come against the badge. They recognize the badge who they're playing against. They're playing against Manchester, that Manchester United badge. And the idea that Theo Walcott talk about the 2008 team.
Oh my God.
This Manchester United team finished 15th last season. Has been abysmal. It's one of the worst if you look at all the great teams of Manchester United. And he's got the cheek to talk about 2008. 2008 team would have given this team 5 or 6. He would have slapped them. And then I saw, what's the guy called Lee? Is he called Lee? No, not Lee. So I think, the guy who owns one of the ATV guys, somebody sent me a link. Him talking in a podcast with some of the elderly, pensioners like Arsenal fans, and he's like, you know what team we don't beat? We need to give a slap to. We need to damage Man United.
Yeah. About United, yeah.
And I'm like,
Mercer as well.
Have no shame.
No.
Have no shame.
So the whole 07, the 08 thing. You know what my issue with that is that this Arsenal team haven't won anything. They haven't.
Exactly.
They win the Premier League, then have these conversations. But that's the United team that won the Prem and the Champs. Could have gone for a treble if we wanted to. Could have, yeah. But that is when I was watching it live, yeah. When I was watching the Champions League live, and that topic came up, the first thing I said was, "This Arsenal team haven't won nothing," and that's the problem: is comparing teams from different eras where one has won something in that period and the other hasn't. If maybe Arsenal win, you can have that conversation. It's debatable, but you can have that conversation. But to have that conversation without winning anything, for me, is pathetic. It's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous.
Absolutely. You're spot on. This is why I don't get the energy. I mean, I told Troops today. I said, "What's your energy? Where's your energy coming from, Troops? You know what I mean? What do you who do you think you are, man? When you win something, then I can say, you know what? Fair play to you. You know what I mean? You can talk. Even Man City fans, we've had to hold it. Liverpool fans,
can I ask you a question though? Has there any other fan base ever been that overconfident before we play them? Has there ever been, like, on the socials, even in real life? The Gunners that I know, last one or two, like, living around me, they were like, wait till you go to the Emirates. Wait till you go to the Emirates. And I'm like, what? These guys are like chasing me in their cars when I'm on my bike getting about. Like, what is going on here?
You know what?
Have you ever remember, Mina, and I'm asking you and Saeed and Musa, have you ever remember a fan base that was so confident that they were going to slap us?
I was going to say, just quickly on what you said, you know, when I feel like when the fixture list gets released, Arsenal fans always look at Man United at the Emirates. That's their first game that they look at to see when it is, which just shows you how big of a fixture it is for them. And by the way, it's funny how when United win, then everyone's saying, "Oh, this is your cup final. This is your cup."
I know.
We don't look at the fixture list and say, when is Arsenal at the Emirates? We don't look at that when it first comes out, because I know what you look. If me personally, I look at Liverpool, I look at Anfield and Old Trafford, I look at the derby, and then Arsenal,
Facts.
But I don't know. It's funny because the last I haven't seen, even like with City, I feel like City fans coming into the derby, even now and last season when we beat them, when Amorim first came in, they were a bit skeptical, despite the fact that they had a proven track record of 4 titles in a row, and Pep was in a struggling position. Even then, they were like, "Oh, you lot might be able to beat us. You lot might be able to beat us." Arsenal fans completely disregarded all of that. And you know, when I was watching when I did a breakdown of the game yesterday, what I realized is Arsenal players did not respect United, and that's why I'm so glad that United gave it to them, because that third goal that United score, the defenders sat off Cunha, like go on, shoot, take a shot. They did it, and I love that, because when people don't respect you, you give them no choice but to respect you, and you do that by beating them in their house. That's the best way to do it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Can I ask me that? What's today been like? What's the best? Have you bumped into any Arsenal fans?
No.
Family?
Nobody is. Wallahi, my friends, big Arsenal fans.
Overnight.
Ignoring me. They're ignoring messages. The people that when we lose to Arsenal, we lose to anyone, they call me straight away. Now, I had to ask my friends saying, "Where have you guys been? It's 24 hours. Are you lot okay? Firstly,
24
hours. Are you alive?"
Missing in action, missing in action, MIA,
You need to call bouncer, man. 24 hours, you know what I mean? Akhi, you know what I mean? There was super chat here. Big up the panel. Big up all Payala Pulis, Madusheki, Gyok Lesnar, No Shoulder Guard, Zubi, Doobie-Doo. Couldn't win yesterday. World is from Dorgu. Couldn't help us beat Stoke FC. Aaron always says you can't cheat football. Facts. And big up the man, Musa, Mina, and Saeed and Nurjan. Big up to you, Aspen. Musa, what are you saying, Musa? Must be.
What's good?
Must be sweet, you know what I mean? This victory.
Yeah,
Musa's like, get that contract, 10 years for Carrick. That's what he said.
Louise, because I was on the Carrick train, and I know what time it is. There was no doubt. When you asked me last week what the score was, I said, like, what did I say? 3-2 or 3-1, something like that.
3-1, you said.
I had no doubt. You know what it is? The disrespect to my OG Carrick is shocking, because, you know, like, under Ollie, it wasn't controlled. But you see, when the professor spoke, you saw what Arsene Wenger said yesterday, the professor.
Yeah,
you see, when he said it's a controlled, measured defense and attack. And that's what I'm trying to tell everybody that's seeing United in action. It's not like, I don't get the same vibe that I got off Ollie in terms of how the games went or how we played, or even the way like the team kind of attacked. I feel like there's a lot of a surety within how we play the game. And I feel like even with Kobbie Mainoo and, you know, the stick that he got, we had people telling us that we should loan out Kobbie Mainoo and go and get Conor Gallagher on flipping loan. This is what we had the fan base telling us and letting us believe. that we should let Kobe go. And in the last 2 games, Kobe has covered the most distance on the field on both teams. Nobody's covered more distance than it. And that just tells me when a manager comes in and I hear people say, well, if the manager's not fancying the player, you should get rid of him. I just feel like there has to be a level of like awareness in what we're doing. I get it if there's like a player on the cuffs of the squad, like example, I rate Zertsky and I rate how he is as a player and how he plays. But the fact that he's never got going at United or, you know, things haven't gone well for him, if a manager comes in and says, look, you're a good player, but I think I want to go in another direction, I can get behind that just on the basis that he hasn't actually got going at the club anyway, even though I know he's a good player and he can go and do it elsewhere. But when a player comes through the way Kobe did and plays at the level that he played in the Euros and for United, and then we still have people telling us that we should be getting rid of him and going on loan, it just tells me that there's a little bit, it's not about player power, but there has to be a level of just maturity and saying that, listen, this can't happen. Like, we've all seen what the kid can do and his ability. So for me, I'm just happy that a manager like Carrick's come through, who's put a lot of emphasis on, protecting the midfield, protecting the players in the middle of the park and playing through them. Because when we look at Cunha's goal, Kobe had 3 man on him. 3 man was on Kobe.
Yeah.
And any other player plays it safe, goes sideways or goes back. Kobe just he didn't punch the ball through, but it was like a quick, just, it's like he just banged it like, but I can't even describe what Kobe did. I just said to myself,
it's brutal.
You know what he gave? A beautifully measured pass into the path of Cunha.
Yeah, but when Bruno gave him the ball and there was 3 people around him, a lot of people go sideways. The fact that Kobe's first thought is always, if I don't need to protect the ball and secure it, because he's so press resistant, he's to move forward. Every time Kobe gets the ball, is to drop a shoulder and take us further up the pitch. And because he thinks like that,
who did he not make for that goal?
I think it was Rice, wasn't it?
Declan Rice, yeah, he nutmegs Declan Rice for that assist for Cunha.
I didn't even see that.
Yeah, he's
nutmegs Declan Rice.
Scary times. It's scary. This one, for me, I'm just happy.
What he said. He said, he spoke to Michael Carrick and he said these players are a good group of players, and you know what, they're not actually that bad. You know what I mean? So it just shows you, man, the kind of perspective a manager is having on the squad. You look at Amorim, what he was saying about Dorgu, what he was saying about Mbeumo. Like, he was putting these kids down, man. Do you know what I mean?
Can I just say one thing though? Guys, this is a new beginning. Can we stop talking about Amorim? I get it.
I agree.
We're traumatized. We're traumatized because I'm sick and tired of this point scoring that I see. Like, even when United win, people are using it.
I had to run back when I heard they stop talking about Amorim. I'm not accepting no receipts. There's no refund. There's no refund. I'm not going to stop talking about Amorim until the season's over, because we had 2 opportunities. Not even 2. We had 3. Get rid of him after we lost the European final. No. Then it was about 6 or 7 games into the league when I think it was the first international break. Amorim had to go. We were told again by a large group of the fan base, give him time, give him time. I just feel like the Amorim hype, and everyone can get it wrong, but I feel like there's still man in the group chat when Amorim got sacked, we're still saying he should still be here. Like, it's madness.
You know what it is, Musa? You know what it is? It's like, genuinely speaking, as football fans, there's agendas, right? And the reason why I'm saying can we stop talking about this Amorim thing yet is because when Fletcher was drawing against Burnley, the amount of people that were in my DMs, in my comments on my YouTube saying, you called for this, you're part of the... And then when United are winning, they don't want to give credit to Carrick or the players or everything. They're quick to get on the train. That's fine. But can we just be in peace and harmony?
You know what it is,
for once, please? Because I'm going crazy. Wallahi, I'm going crazy.
I know what you mean.
After the game, I'm seeing... Carrick won back-to-back matches for the first time when he tried. It took Amorim this long. Okay, we don't need to keep talking about Amorim, please. You know that it's like that 1 year in your life that never happened.
You know what it is, though, Minna? You know what it is? If you don't talk about Amorim, I think there's a large part of the fan base who think what Carrick is doing is easy. and it can easily be replaced at the end of the season.
I agree with that, but you know, like there's always that 1 year in your life where it's just a madness. You're sick, you lose your job, like your life is just downhill. You forget about that year. You literally block it out of your memory, right? Let's do that with Ruben Amorim's time at Manchester United.
Mina, I'm with you 100 million%.
Nah, you know what it is.
Musa, 1 second. Listen, there's all these sayings about I can't cry over spilt milk, right? Amorim was a yesteryear. Amorim should never have had the job. He should never have been back. I don't know what this fan base like this toxic positivity towards the coach, regardless of what the hell he's doing. It's embarrassing. And I 100 million% agree with Mina. None of this point scoring thing. We've just got to think now. And that's what I'm saying, Saeed. You see the players. You hear that. Saeed is one of the biggest faller for PR BS, and he falls for it because his fall feels.
I just listen to the podcast.
The players are good. Listen, the players are absolute chums, The players, to me, some of them are a disgrace. But I'm not going to put that. We've seen this before. Let's just see. Can United Strand get his haircut in the last week's 3 games? That's
3
the
games.
question.
These are the toughest 3 games, though. These are the ones where
Wallahi, guys, I'm not being funny, but if the United Strand guy gets a haircut in Carrick's first 5 games, we might have to run that Amorim conversation back again. Even though I just said we might have to run it back one time.
That's
because
what I'm saying.
If Carrick wins 5 games on the trot, and that guy gets a haircut, that is bigger news than United winning back-to-back games under Amorim in 1 year. That is bigger news.
That's what I'm saying. But I you know what it is though? It's obviously it's one of them ones where if we don't beat, for example, I don't know, Tottenham. But I'm not gonna lie to you, the next 3 games, apart from Fulham, I think Fulham is the toughest game out of the 3. But on the Thomas Frank, I think United should win that at home. And West Ham away.
I think West Ham is tough, we struggled there. Remember, sometimes you're not playing the team, you play there. Listen, and Nuno Spiritus, they're playing better football now, Saeed. They're playing a lot better football.
I know they are. And
they bullied us at Old Trafford. You know the biggest thing is going to be now, Saeed, the question we're all going to have to answer, and this is the other side of it. Carrick has played 2 teams that attack Man United. When now we're going to play 3 teams, or 2 of them might not.
Did they though?
They play open.
They set
up to attack, but did they slice through Man United? Did they?
I'll be honest. They played quite similar, both teams, very reliant on their wide players, whereas with City is get the ball to their wide players to dribble and create something. Whereas with Arsenal, get the ball to their wide players to get a delivery in or win a corner. Now, is right. We're gonna come up against teams that are maybe gonna sit back and try and play us in transition where we might have more possession. Then that is probably the biggest question of how is United gonna perform? The only thing I will say, the difference between City and Arsenal is that I think City utilized or used their midfield to a better extent than Arsenal did. Arsenal had a good midfield on paper, but in game, Zubimendi, Odegaard, poor.
Dealt with them all.
Poor.
Yep.
The third goal that United score, when Sesko brings the ball down, and you got Bruno, Cunha, and Mbeumo in a little triangle space. I got a screenshot of it on my Twitter page. Saeed, if you can bring it up. The space in the midfield is pathetic from Arsenal. And United are not going to get that against Fulham. They're not going to get that against West Ham. They're not going to get that. Maybe the only thing, maybe Spurs might, I don't know. Spurs are crap. They're not that great right now. But Fulham, for me, will be the toughest fixture out of those 3.
I agree. Same. I agree. They're going to be the toughest fixture. Yeah, this is the space. But ain't this the best midfield in the world, though? Ain't this the best midfield in the league, in Europe? You know what I mean?
At this point, when that happened, look at that midfield space in front of that third picture. That third, you got Declan Rice is the only midfielder at that point, by the way.
Yeah.
Because he brought on Moreno and he brought on Eze for Odegaard and Zubimendi, which for me, his substitution
is incredible. Oh, you know what? I'm not gonna lie to you. I might do a show where I bring an Arsenal fan on because I think this can be fixed with Arsenal.
Jeez, that was a pass, isn't it?
Yeah. This can be fixed with Arsenal. All it is that the Mr. Toy Story is overthought it too much.
Yeah,
he's overthinking it, and don't just get players up the pitch who can exchange and rotate and have playmakers. You don't need you need playmakers. And to me, honestly, yes, Odegaard might not be having, but I swear to God, Saeed, you know what I was doing? I was, soon as he went off, I was like, yes, because he's the only one that keeps the ball ticking when they bring more.
He was poor though as well.
No, Saeed, listen. But he's the only guy. Saeed, did you notice Minna as well? Soon as he went off and Supermendy went off, they couldn't play make from deep.
Yeah,
they couldn't play make from deep. They started doing this. What Amorim would do with Saliba. Saliba becomes the playmaker.
Yeah.
Saliba ain't no playmaker. He just runs like a donkey in straight lines.
Nope.
But you know why? You know why? Because they do that even when, like, even in the goal that United score, right? The first goal to equalize, right? Zubimendi and Declan Rice were hiding behind United's press. And Saliba's on the ball telling them, come. Wayne Rooney did a good breakdown on it on Match of the Day, because he says, like, Arteta's, the way that he plays lets the centre-backs have too much time on the ball. And they shouldn't, because the midfielders should. But when you don't have
midfield as well, Mina.
They do. Yeah, 100%. By performance standards, they should have the better midfield.
But I did say it on the Big Six. I said, yo, listen, man, why are we scared of their midfield when we got a balanced midfield of Casemiro, who has been playing well, Manu can do what he's got to do, and Bruno further forward is better than Odegaard. You know what I mean? This season, the last season. So I don't know why United fans were kind of like scared. And this is why I said on the Big Six.
I agree. They might have a Lambo, but they might have been, they might have a Lambo of a midfield, but we're in a BMW. It's not that bad. Like, you can still make it work. You know what I'm trying to say? Like, people are going to like our midfield.
Stop with the analogies.
I'm telling you, because people are looking at it like, right, they're like, their midfield is mad. But we were going to like Casemiro, Bruno, and Kobe is some dead midfield. It's not a dead midfield.
You got some crimes to answer for, so you be quiet over there, because you.
Okay, I'm ready. I've got receipts.
Musa, you know, guys, you lot see Musa draw me out all the time in the group chat talking about Le Mans versus Onana. Can you let that go? Can you let that go?
If Onana was here, if Carrick was here for Onana, he would have saved Onana's career. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying.
Fear God.
Listen, Le Mans is here. Le Mans is the guy.
You know what I mean? Mina's got you, mate. Mina's got you today, bro.
No, two ways. I don't know if Mina supported me when I was bigging up Carrick, when everyone was doubting me, telling me, because Saeed, me and Saeed, we ain't even started yet. We need a show on Carrick. Because Saeed telling me that Saeed's moving a bit like Roy Keane. Roy Keane is not.
Roy Keane's bitter. Roy Keane's bitter. I'm not Roy Keane. Roy Keane is on a different level of hatred. Brother, I don't know what Carrick did to him here and his wife, but he is like really, really like. What's his badges? What's he doing? And is it because
personal? I think his issue is personal. It's not business. Well, like,
personal, man. Damn.
Yeah, he's on him too much. The way he's going to, even Vieira was trying to defend Carrick and he's not having it. I just feel like, for me, I just think like, I don't want to talk, but remember I told you, man, we're in a title race, you know.
I
don't. Take him out, son.
Yeah. That's a timeout. That's a timeout. Jeez. Title race is crazy, man. You know what, man? If we'd have won them games,
we're moving like Arsenal fans. We're moving. That's what an Arsenal fan would say.
Listen, I don't want no refunds. I'm telling you, I don't want no refunds. That's what I'm telling you. Man United under Carrick is gonna get 6 points behind the top of the league. We're gonna get 6 points behind whoever's on top of the league with Michael Carrick. We're 12 points behind. I'm letting you know he's gonna claw back another 6 points. And
the only way I see it is if
I'm not talking.
If Man City were to fall behind,
I think this is another Leicester year. I think we're going to see a Villa do something. People think this is a joke.
No, Villa everyone's
Villa's not a joke. What they're doing, they're to flipping Newcastle at home and just picking up points like it's a joke.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But I just think just give me top four, man. Just give me Champions League football, man. That's all I really focus on that. But what I will say though is the job for Michael Carrick does become more of a conversation though. If he carries on the way he carries on, if he gets Man United into the top four, if he cuts my man's hair, like you said, Minna, in the next 3 games, if there has to be like big things for it to happen, and these are like big things. 2 wins, Arsenal thingy. Like the football's better, the style of play is better. There's a continuity, there's a consistency. If all of them situations are there, then Carrick at the end of the season could be like, you know what, I should be in the running. He should be in the running for the manager role. Whether he gets it is another conversation. But this is going to be one of them ones where you're damned if you do and you're damned if you're not. Because if he gets a job, he does badly, we're all going to be like, why do we do this again? If another guy gets a job and he does worse than him, we're all going to be like, bring back Carrick, bring back Carrick. And he's not going to want to come back because you rejected him. Yeah, why would you want to come back when you got rejected? So this is why, for me, all eyes on Ineos. You know, they got a bit giddy last night. I don't know if you see Sir Jim. Sir Jim was moving crazy. I ain't seen Sir Jim like that in a while, man. Yo, Sir Jim was moving like we won the World Cup. Yo, like,
Nuruddin is more shocked with you, Saeed, calling him Sir Jim. That's crazy. Nuruddin can't believe it. He's in disbelief. He's saying, what? This guy's actually calling him Sir.
Take me out. Take me out. I'm just conversation.
But you
like his face when you said that.
No, but the thing is, though, Jim Ratcliffe looked like a man here. Like, that was excited, bro. And I'm like, yo, you got to relax, because I'm wary of that, because if he does the whole thing of, well, let's give it to him. Rio Ferdinand's already calling for him to give the job. You know, I mean, there's a lot of man, and I get it, yeah. Like, if he gets top 4, you can say he deserves it. But is deserving the thing right now in our heads we need to be thinking about? Or do we have to think logically, right, what's best for Man United? Is it a manager who's got a bit more experience? Is it a manager that we can go and his longevity? Is it almost like Carrick, interim Carrick? Is that different to a permanent Carrick? You know what I mean? And I don't think he's similar to Ollie. Ollie was just freestyle football. Ollie was a case of like vibes. When you look at Steve Holland, these guys are credible people, man. And I feel like they deserve a bit more respect, rather than at the time it was Kieran McKenna and Michael Carrick that were the brains behind it. So it's different, but at the same time, how different is it come next season? And I'm not gonna lie to you, we don't want to be here again regretting the decision that's been made. You know, you don't want to be regretting, and that's the biggest thing for me. Can we say to ourselves, what's good now is temporary? You know what I mean? It's like something you enjoy for now, but then later on down the line, are you going to be screwing, thinking, damn, man, I should have just enjoyed it while I had it. Like, don't get too ahead of yourself, you know?
Give the gym, the Ineos, win, lose or draw, Glazers, Ineos out. These vultures did what they did to us, right? Put that aside. The thing with Carrick and his coaching staff, the data's too small. Manchester United have beaten Arsenal before. We've beaten City before. The thing is now, the big games, the teams that it's the Fulhams, it's the West Hams, it's the Spurs, it's those other teams that we need to beat. So for me, Saeed, I think he should be given, because this is what I don't believe it's unfair. I think he should be in the interview. He should be interviewed, right?
Yeah.
But also, he has to show, Saeed, how he can tactically win when Manchester United have got more possession, when Manchester United have to play more open against teams, what the different type of strikers, different type of players that he uses, and all of the different players he uses. So for me, the data's too small, but I am not looking at thinking about Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. I'm thinking Carrick are the same. Human beings are different. We're all different. Musa's different. I'm different. We all see it. We all see it differently. Like, do you know what I mean? So it'd be very harsh to judge somebody because of somebody else. The biggest problem has always been, Saeed, is that the vultures who own this football club have never fully backed and fully got behind a coach. The one that got a bit of immunity and got bitterman was Ten Hag, and he was a concussed guy. After 7 months, I called it. So at the end of the day, we have to wait and see the different kind of problems, the different solutions, how we solve them. And I think this conversation is just people are having it for sensational type of headline. It's just a great headline. It's way too early. Come the end of the season, we will know whether if Carrick deserved put himself on that interview just to be interviewed, whether to get the job or not, but to be interviewed. That's if the people who were doing the interview, finding Manchester United's next coach, first team coach, know what they're doing. So that's what we got to think about. For me, at this moment in time, I think this talk is just too sensationalist. It's media driven, and it's also other fans, like people who want to banter us, are using it as a stick to go, ooh, Carrick gave Carrick the 10-year. So at the end of the day, we should just focus on what happened in the game. And I think Arsenal, we need to talk about what we saw, the things that we saw. If you ask me about in the game, me and Saeed, I predicted the first 20 minutes. We all did. I'm sure we all looked and said, first 20 minutes, Arsenal are going to come out. And they're going to come out all guns blazing. For me, I took that, I think, United, I'm not going to criticize any of the play and I'm not going to criticize the game plan. But it was 30 minutes they did that. They scored and they sat back thinking we're just going to hit you on the counter.
Horrible football they played.
And then Saeed, we started to get the ball down. Well, if you look at my tweet from yesterday, I said, we're paying them too much respect. They're not that great. Because Saeed, I watched them against teams like...
I know.
I've been watching their games, especially because I want them to win the league. So I've been watching their games going, come on, Arsenal. I'm literally just being supporting because I don't want City or Liverpool. I don't want Liverpool winning. Are you kidding me? I don't want Liverpool overtake Manchester United. What are we talking about here? That's the biggest thing I've been scared of. I don't want City winning another consecutive league, right? So the biggest thing for me is that we gave them too much respect. But in that first half, and now Arsenal fans are saying, it's because we forced the error. We pressed you. Look at Mbeumo. We said in the group chat before, Mbeumo, I don't think he's playing well. I genuinely don't. I think there's more to come.
I think that's 2 games.
At this moment in time, at the moment in time, he's scoring. And that is what...
No, I disagree. Last 2 games, he's played well. Last 2 games.
I don't think so.
Play. His hold-up play has been good. No, I disagree, guys.
I think there's moments in his play, but that's not his... For me, he's not a striker, innit?
Have you seen the difference?
I just feel like... I don't want to judge him unjustly.
Yeah, Musa, can I just say... You see the difference that Cunha and Mbeumo... I know they're 2 different players.
I know what you're trying to say.
But Cunha has more effect on the game than Mbeumo. And I think there's a lot more to come. I don't think Mbeumo had a good AFCON either. I don't think he played well in the AFCON. I actually think...
But it's not always on the ball, though, already. His off-the-ball movement is good.
Well, that's what I'm trying to give him credit for the press. People, Arsenal fans, saying we made error. No, we forced you into an error. Yes. We forced you into an error. He was onto Saliba, and Saliba panicked and gave Subamende off balance the ball, and Subamende can only do that, and then he pounced. So at the end of the day, that is an unforced error that we forced. It wasn't a mistake. We forced that mistake. We pressed you off the pitch, and I thought Bruno before was wasteful. We could have been level way later before. Bruno was wasteful. But go on.
Yeah, go on, Musa.
I was just saying that Mbeumo has that thing that Mo Salah has, where if he doesn't score and it continues to happen for a long period of time, a fan base can start to get on top of him and saying, what is he doing? He's not actually contributing to the game that much in terms of what you want him to do as someone who scores goals. And I think as long as he's scoring, he will always master that. And I think that happened to him when he was on the wing for United for a period of time, when he wasn't getting goals. People started saying, well, Mbeumo, is he really that guy? I just feel like Mbeumo's a good player, and I wouldn't want to put any pressure on him. I'm just happy that we've got players with a left foot who can actually come in. Like, I don't mind Mbeumo starting and Ahmed being on the bench and then turning it around the next game, depending on what you want. But in terms of an out-and-out winger...
Don't say that. Don't say you
no,
don't
I'm saying
mind
to you, no,
that.
but in terms of an out-and-out winger...
Don't say you don't mind that, because you said Mbeumo...
No, I don't listen. You know what it is?
No, don't say that. Don't say...
When Carrick's in charge, when my manager's in charge...
Carrick's in charge
my
now.
gaffer.
No, but Carrick, we knew Carrick was coming in. We knew Carrick was coming in when we had this conversation. And you said... You and
Saeed best player.
Both said...
Okay, who's Man United's best player? Who's Man United's best player?
Bruno Fernandes.
It's Ahmed. It's not Bruno Fernandes.
Bruno Fernandes is Manchester United's most important best player.
Okay, so when Bruno Fernandes goes,
level, who's the best 1v1 player is Ahmed.
Ahmed is our best player.
But you guys said when we were talking, when Darren Fletcher...
But the fact that you didn't mention Mbeumo, that's what I'm saying. But the fact you didn't mention Mbeumo, when I said who's the best player, tells you what time it is.
I never mentioned Ahmed. You guys
when I said who's our best player, you went technically, you went after.
You guys made this Ahmed versus Mbeumo thing. And I said to you guys,
okay, is Ahmed better than Mbeumo?
Having multiple good players in the same position, it's fine. I said to you, I can imagine Ahmed coming off the left and Mbeumo on the right or whatever. And you said, nah, Mbeumo's holding.
I said Mbeumo doesn't start in front of Ahmed on the right wing, and he hasn't. The manager's moved him.
No, because
He
even
sees
then,
it.
it don't make a difference if he starts on the right and Ahmad is in the
You know
false
why
nine.
it does?
When you
Because
watch
when-
in game, hold on. Let me just say, when you watch in game, yeah, you see the rotations. You don't see the rotation.
Yeah.
You see Mbeumo dropping off, Bruno shifting out to the right, Ahmad coming centrally. You see it happening in the reverse order. So it
Yeah.
don't matter who starts where because
But when
in
Carrick,
game,
when Carrick makes a sub and he wants to bring on a forward, he doesn't take Ahmad off because of how important he is to the shape of the team and what he does going back and going forward.
You're
Ahmad
right in that.
started.
Yeah, no, I agree in that. I agree in that. But you said Mbeumo had to hold bench, and now you're saying
I
don't mind
agree.
if Mbeumo
I don't
starts
even
over
remember.
Ahmad.
You know what
And
it says?
It's just you're
I'm
contradicting.
saying long term. If you give me a chance,
Contradicting. That's all I'm saying.
okay. If you give me a chance, I'm just gonna be.
You're not qualified.
Let me clarify.
Can I just say
I
something?
didn't know I was in court. Listen, I did.
Listen, one second, Musa. Listen, all I wanted to say is the Mina Musa beef is something else.
I feel like I'm in Guantanamo. I
No,
didn't know I
because
was
you
in
know what, guys?
Guantanamo.
This guy annoys me. Like, I'll be enjoying my day. I'm on my way to paddle. He'll just at me in the group chat with a video of Anana. Stop sending me videos of Anana. I don't want to see it. Stop it.
All right, chat. I want to start moving like speed. I want to start chatting to the chat. All right, chat. Back me on this one, yeah? Listen, if we got to pick an 11, Cunha, for me, if we got to pick an 11, Cunha's in it and then Mbeumo's not. That's just me, if we have to pick one now. But what the manager's doing and how he's doing it, I ain't got nothing wrong with it. But Ahmad is our most important player.
What about Dorgu? Because you can't take out Dorgu in this team now.
No, but I'm just saying, if you're going to change the team...
injury? What's the latest?
Apparently, Carrick says it's a cramp.
Yeah, that's what Carrick was saying.
It wasn't.
Can I just say though, there's not Ahmad. I love Ahmad. I like Mbeumo. I like Cunha. I like Dorgu. I like Sesko. I like Bruno. I like the fact that we have options. I love the fact that we got options in every position. But one thing I hate, and Musa does this all the time, and Saeed, you're guilty of it as well sometimes, is putting our players up against each other. It's either one or it's one versus one. Why can't it both be both? Why can't we appreciate?
You know why we were shocked though? You know, me and Saeed were shocked that you picked Mbeumo in your starting 11 before Ahmad when we were picking the teams. We were just shocked compared to the AFCON that he was having. But you was like, it doesn't matter. We were just saying, based on form and what we were seeing, Ahmad had to start in front of Mbeumo. Nothing to do with who we think is better. Like example, if Cunha was playing out of this world and Mbeumo and Ahmad weren't, nobody would argue it. We're just saying Ahmad cannot be denied based on what we saw in AFCON and what he's done for Man United. My man outscored Saka last season playing wing back. But weren't you the same person
that said you don't care about what they're doing at international and it's about what they're doing at...
No, that wasn't me. That was Noradine. That's for me.
Yeah, you that
was Noradine. Noradine said, Noradine's like, what did they do in the shirt? But my thing is with Ahmad, I just feel like he's been, forget anyone else anyway, I just feel like he's been disrespected for a long time. Last season, he scored 8 goals in the league from wing-back position. And their star boy Saka got 6 and everyone's saying he's mad. And that's him playing forward in the winger's position. I just feel like Ahmad's been disrespected for so long that we don't even value him as one of our most important players. And we're prepared to put like Bruno in front of him. He's 32 years old, trying to move.
Important and best. What are you talking about? Who's United's best?
I think he's our most important player.
You think
best, important, all of that. I think he's best, important, all of that. I think Ahmad has proven he just needs the world stage. If he was at Barcelona, and see what Rafinha's doing, Ahmad would be on that stuff there. He just needs the world stage. You give it to him, the boy's gone clear. I believe that. And I just feel like for a long time, we had a manager who put him in wing back. I remember in the Mandem chat, Mandem's telling me Ahmad's best position is wing back. I just wanted to go home and sleep. I couldn't believe what I was hearing. Wing back.
The thing I'll say about Ahmad is the only thing I will say is that for him to be in the conversations of the top, his talent is there, but it has to be consistent. Output has to be consistent. Until I'm seeing double-digit goals consistently for Manchester United. And to be honest, it's unfair on him because he only really got into the starting lineup last season. Like when Eric Ten Hag was barely playing. Eric Ten Hag, no, but when Eric Ten Hag was barely playing, like he was in and out of the starting lineup under Eric Ten Hag. So he never really got his full opportunity to start consistently until Ruben Amorim came in and decided to play him at wing back. So really, if we're being honest, this season and maybe the rest of this season might be the first time in like 4 or 5 months of football where he might get consistent football at right wing, like consistent football.
Yeah, and even last year, even last year, those happy moments that we had against City and teams like that, Ahmad was stepping up until he got injured. There was a period when Ahmad was stepping up for flipping Amorim as wing-back last year, and then he went and got injured. And I just feel like he needs the stage. Once you give it to him, and he's not even a player that you got to build a team around me. Just let him get on with his job and give him the right wing and just let him do what he does. You don't have to build a team around Ahmad for him to be consistent. Like I said, Saka's on 6 goals last season.
Bro, have you seen their attack, by the way? We've got a better attack than Arsenal, by the way.
I told everyone this, but no, everyone told me we did.
Let me just show you before you come in, Nuruddin. Like, I'm just gonna show you their attack here, and then we are blessed, man. Them. I know maybe Ahmad hasn't scored enough goals, but look at they're meant to be title winning team. This is their attack. Look at this, bro. Saka. Like, why is Mbeumo not better than Saka? Why? In what God's green earth here have we established that Saka is better than Mbeumo? When I put him in my combined 11s here, they were all crying. Saka.
I have a theory on why their numbers look like that right now. They're like this season, because I don't know if you guys saw, they are like top 4 for goals scored from set pieces, and they're 17th goals scored from open play. These are not players that are getting you goals from set pieces. These like Trossard, Madueke, Martinelli, maybe Gyökeres should be getting goals from set pieces.
Wow.
Like that is why the margins and the stats and the metrics look like this for Arsenal. 17th in the league. I saw a stat that said that. I can't remember that they scored like they scored a certain number of goals last season, and it was like 30% of it, less than 30% of it came from open play. And this season they're 17th in the league for goals from open play. So yesterday I saw Madueke run the ball out of play like 4 times.
Yeah,
I couldn't believe it. Why? I was watching the game. I'm thinking this can't be real. This actually can't be real.
Has 5 goals this season, and we only play 1 game a week, guys. Man, this is why you've got to take us extra consideration here, man. We play 1 game a week.
Their second top goal scorer is own goals, no?
Yeah, madness, man. That's crazy. So, I look at it from. I get where you're coming from.
They need to wake up, though. It's not an Arsenal show, but they need to wake up. They will lose this league, because if Leeds beat them next week, and they go a point only, and they're only 1 point ahead, they're gonna lose their heads.
Yeah, Man City have got Tottenham and Liverpool, by the way, coming up away. Yeah, so again, it's one of them ones where
I'm looking at Villa.
Yeah, I just want to go back to Ahmad thing. Yesterday, a lot of people, he didn't do a lot in terms of attacking output, but in terms of like being composed, taking the ball. One of the big things I love about him is that he can take the ball on the back foot, back in dangerous areas, coming in inside, and he always keeps it patient, knocks the back. He's somebody who takes the ball when the time sometimes team needs a breather. Get on the ball, play a 1-2 with a centre back or the right back. I thought defensively, and the reason why I don't want this to be missed, right? The reason why Kobe, Casemiro, and the centre backs look so good is because Ahmad and Dorgu both tucking in, and that makes a huge difference. Huge difference. Diego Dalot and Luke Shaw, both of them being supported, not left alone. It is what they're making their midfield and our defense look so good is because everybody's working their socks off. And the work that Ahmad and Mbeumo and Dorgu are doing, a lot of people who don't know about football will miss that. The amount of tracking back, the amount of cutting out the passing lanes, the amount of time that Ahmad had to go to Saka. Like yesterday, there was once or twice actually Luke Shaw was left alone because Dorgu was up the pitch. Dorgu just did an attack and he was way up the pitch. And he had to try to defend it like Saka or pull him down or whatever. But at the end of the day, we haven't got our individuals on their own are not as good as we did. But together as a team unit, you can cut out a lot of space. You can play close to, and that's why Casemiro's looking like a different baller now. Casemiro doesn't even have to do a lot of running side. But the difference between him being left alone in the gap of what we do, and actually, if you see the game yesterday, positionally, majority of the time it was Kobe who was the 6. Casemiro played as the number 8. Yesterday. A lot of the times.
But that's what I'm saying. One of the things I would praise Amorim for is that the fact that he made Dorgu and Ahmad wing backs and made them defend for their lives for the last how long he's been there. I think it's now become natural to these wingers that we have that defending is a part of the game. That's one of the things I'll praise for. Because of they've done so much defending this season. Like,
yeah, but I don't even look at them. But Musa, I don't even look at them as wingers. I look at them as wide midfield players. I don't look at them as out and out wingers. I don't, because they don't stay high on wide. They're tucked in. They're tucked in. Let's talk about. Can we talk about? Listen.
But quickly before you go, because we mentioned.
No, Musa, 1 second. I need to talk about the Dorgu goal.
No, go back. Go back.
I need to talk about the Dorgu goal. Your reactions. I want to know your reactions. I was sat here.
What a play!
I nearly smashed my head on the ceiling. That's how I jumped.
Wow!
That's how I jumped. All of this fell. The chair fell. I couldn't believe it. And then when they thought they were, I swear to God, you know what I was going to do?
Handball. They're trying to say handball.
Saeed, if they would have not give that goal,
riot. We're gonna have to riot.
That would have been the greatest injustice ever. That technique. The way we bop them, this is the best midfield in the world, and we're bopping them, bop, bang, and then moaning. And by the way, substitutions were not made before then. You made the substitutions after that goal. They were all on the pitch. They were all there on the pitch. Can we talk about Dorgu? Can we talk about what happened to this kid?
He's got one less GA than Saka.
That was my guy. That was my guy again. When I was getting rinsed in the Mandem talk and I was back in Dorgu. Dorgu's my guy, because again, the kid is too young. Like, you see, when you see a player and you see the ability that he has, there's a time when you can say, okay, someone's out of form and someone has ability. And I feel like there's players that we've had at Man United for a long period of time where we know they have the ability, but when they're out of form, we're just too heavy on them. Someone like Zertsky can be out of form, but does anyone have any doubt about Zertsky's ability on the ball and off the ball and what he can do? And I heard an interview the other day of Michael Carrick when they asked him about the strikers and how he player profiled each striker in terms of what they can do. I said, this is my manager. The way he spoke about Zertsky's game and how it can come in handy in certain games, saying that he's not a player that's just going to run in behind, even though he can do it. He can actually come and link the play and spread the ball. When I heard him saying that, obviously it's as obvious as it is, but just knowing that his player profiled him correctly lets me know when we go to Fulham, we're slapping 4 goals minimum. I'm not like, I got no doubt about what I'm seeing.
We're at
4 goals.
Home to Fulham.
We're at home.
We're at home to Fulham.
Yeah, okay, 4-0. It's 4-0, 4-1. I'm telling you. I know I'm seeing it.
You know,
you know I'm not giddy because even let me tell you, no, I'm not giddy. You know why I'm saying this? Because the partnerships that we're seeing, we've been asking. Like, people say it's not rocket science, but at the same time, if it's not, why didn't Amorim do it? The partnerships that we're seeing across the pitch, in defence, in the middle of the park, the wing back and the full and the wingers, it's like everything we're seeing we spoke about, but in terms of players actually, doing what they've been asked to do, but having the confidence. For me, what makes me so confident in the United players now is that, like Noradine said earlier, they've got Holland in there. They've got someone in there behind Carrick who actually knows what he's doing. And this is what we asked Ollie to do. We used to tell Ollie, go and get someone who's been there, thereabouts, and has the experience to actually help you make things happen. Not on top of that, Carrick's brought 2 defenders in Johnny Evans and Woodgate. I don't think people understand what's going on here, but he's brought 2 defenders in these 2 players who both played at a high level to get us into a shape with my man who's been around and knows what he's doing. So for me, on top of that, Carrick is a coach himself and he's someone who's down to detail. I just think what we're seeing is not a fluke. All of this, can we break down these small teams and that? Watch Carrick change the lineup. That's all I'm saying.
I think his philosophy is, well, I can't lie to you. One thing I've been impressed by is his tactical nous from Carrick and his team. Like, this ain't no like, Wilson, this ain't no like, like you're just playing freestyle. It feels like it's just, you're playing off vibes. It don't feel like that. It actually feels like United are working in the training ground and we got a setup. We got a mid block. We press him very, very well.
See, when Arsenal scored, was you not shook? I was not shook, when they scored, I
was just pissed off the fact it was an own goal. That was it.
That's what I'm saying. The fact, the way they scored it and how it happened, and based on what I'd seen before that goal, I wasn't scared. Like, there was an assurance from my manager on the touchline. You see how Carrick carries himself. Anyway, let me just allow it.
The Cantona colours.
Can
The
I just
Cantona
say one thing,
colours.
guys? Can I say
Let me
one
just
thing?
allow
By the way? I think people forget how young Dorgu is. The guy's a
Yeah.
kid. He's 21 years old.
Yeah,
He's a child.
Say something, please, before you go. I've been on the Mandem explaining to people like Saeed about young players, giving young players the time to develop, to get the best out of themselves. But these men, no, they gotta be ready. They gotta be ready. They gotta be ready. No,
To be fair, we were talking about Garnacho and them, man, that are not good.
You're a dean, man. You know Saeed, man.
No, but
don't worry about him. Don't worry
I'm
about him, man.
fine.
His brain is being controlled by emotions. Don't listen to the guy.
If you are good, I will give you time. But for those that weren't good enough, Højlund and Garnacho, that's where my argument was.
I don't even believe that with them. I don't believe they weren't good enough.
Let's be real.
I don't think he's that bad.
He's okay, but also he's another young player misguided. That's it. But one thing I will say is, did you guys notice when Musa was talking about the players at United that are talented? He said Ahmad, he said Dorgu, he said Mbeumo, he said Zaxi. There's a correlating factor in the players that he backs. There's one factor. Because the players that he gets onto.
Wakanda FC. It's not AFCON, it's Wakanda FC, mate. Wakanda forever.
What about Lissandro? Is anyone going to big up Lissandro?
That's my guy. Lissandro, that's my captain. That's my captain. That's my captain. Lissandro. Yeah, that's my guy.
The punch that he gave to Jesus punched him in the back.
Oh, man. Bullied him, man. Bullied him. But yeah, you're going to say
Did
something.
You see what he did to Yokeres when he grabbed his mouth like this?
Yeah. Get out of the way. But that's what I'm saying. Even Maguire as well. Maguire, we have to give credit as well. Professional.
Maguire played well.
Listen, I think he put De Ligt and Mazraoui in this team. We go up a level.
Listen, we've always said
you don't drop Maguire thingy now.
Listen, I always said when you get people around them,
Maguire.
Remember the Ten Hag's first season, the first 6 months when Casemiro came, and we were hard to beat, we were hard to penetrate. So for me, I mean, even last night, Gary Neville's choosing your words. I don't know if you could hear the commentary. Last night, he said this. He said, what did he say? He goes, Maguire turned to Beckenbauer, and then he said something else. Somebody remind me in the comment, please. He said
Beckenbauer never left, man.
Somebody else. He goes, Maguire, when Maguire went up the pitch with the ball.
Yeah. He went up the ball. He was on the right side. Yeah.
I
think he said Maguire and I think he spoke about Delo or someone. Delo became Maldini, so I don't know what he said.
No, it was Dorgu. He was talking about. He said something about Dorgu's turn to somebody.
Yeah, even Delo, to be fair, played well as well. I think it was only really Luke Shaw that was getting cooked in the first half. Everyone else was calm. You know what I mean?
Luke Shaw against Saka. Listen, Luke Shaw against Saka the last couple of years at the Emirates, it's always a tough watch. Even Saka's not at 100%. One thing I will say is that I'm so impressed with United out of possession. That's what I'm so impressed with. Like, for me, that is a rejuvenation. Something that, one thing you mentioned about the double ups, the support from Dorgu with his left back and Amorim, and I think that is why, in my opinion, it felt like Arsenal had to succumb to playing for set pieces because they couldn't get past. I think the only time that I saw Saka actually get past Luke Shaw is when he got that shot at near post. Other than that, he was just being forced onto his right foot to put a delivery in, try and get a cross in.
But what did they create, Mina? They created that shot.
Barely anything.
And the Super Mendy header. What else?
I think they had 2 shots on target. I think out of every, same with this, City had none on target.
Wow.
I like what Carrick's doing. Carrick is trying to stabilize the team before he starts bringing in some of these youngsters and bringing them in, whether it's like the Euros, Heavens, whatever. He's trying to make sure that the team knows what they're doing. They're the senior players are led by example, and you know what I mean. But I do think that he will bring in when De Ligt and them lot get better. I think he will start him. De Ligt is one of our best defenders. I came to that realization at the end, but I just feel like with De Ligt and Mazraoui, I think this team goes up another level again. I think Mazraoui offers something so different. As good as Delo's playing, I don't mind him there, but I just feel like they play the game different. I think how he is on the ball is totally different, Mazraoui, and I feel like it offers something different altogether again. So, like I said, Fulham game, I just see us scoring 4 goals.
Yeah.
But this is a United team now under Carrick that doesn't just sit back. My man makes attacking substitutes. He goes for the kill. He doesn't just sit back.
But what will be the test, though, is when now we are on the front foot. We have to take the game because Fulham will take a draw. We can't afford draws now, especially at home. We've got to keep winning, man. That now standard you set. Maybe that might be his biggest downfall. I don't want to put them words into existence, but he's
how are you already saying that could be his biggest downfall, bro? We haven't even got there. How are you saying that could be his biggest downfall?
I'm trying to say, no, but you don't get my point. My thing is,
no, I don't get your point. Explain it.
My thing is, sometimes you could do more. Like for me, like what he's done there, he set a bar now. He set a bar of you've beaten Man City and you've beaten Arsenal. Now, say for example, I'm not gonna lose my head if you get a loss to Fulham and whatever it is. I don't know who we're playing. Tottenham. But the problem is now, though, everyone's got this expectation now of here. The bar is here. So it will come down a little bit. So now it's almost if it's been too perfect. This Fulham game is so big. This is what I'm trying to say. I cannot stress you enough. This Fulham game, Man United have got to win. But at the same time, they've got quality in that pitch. I really, really do. I think they've got...
I think we're going to go on like a 7 or 8 game win straight away. I don't see anything. I'm telling you.
This is where I think the problem lies, yeah? Firstly, Musa saying stuff like that, but also Musa saying that we could go on a title charge. And also, when we're having conversations after 2 games, whether we should give him the permanent role or not, then you're setting him up for failure when you're having conversations like this.
No, I don't think we're going to win the league yet. But by the time the season's finished, a lot of Carrick's naysayers are going to be saying, "What if Carrick came in the first international break? What if Carrick came in the second?" There's going to be a lot of people when they see how the league finishes and United finish about 7 to 6 points off the top of the table. A lot of people are going to say, "What if?" Remember, I told you that. I know what I'm seeing with Carrick.
What is your expectation from Carrick? Musa's mad, by the way. But my thing on Carrick, can I just say quickly? My thing on Carrick is if he comes in and stabilizes the squad, has the team performing in the manner that they have in the last 2 games regularly and consistency, I don't mind if there's a little blimp here and there because I don't expect perfection for the next four or so months in the Premier League, right? If that happens and United get top 4, he should be, in my opinion, he should be in the conversations of De Zerbi, Iriola. Like, if we're talking about those kind of managers for United, he has every right to be in that conversation. But when it comes to the next step managers, when it comes to the Nagelsmann and the Tuchels and even Xavi, I would put up there, there's a little bit of a gap. But there is nothing to say that he can't, like, for me, he ain't going to jump over everyone immediately. And it's like, yeah, he deserves to stay but if he comes and he does what he's set out to do, then he has more credit in the bank, in my opinion, than certain managers that we've been linked to.
But
I agree.
I agree. If United do get him, do you believe, though, because I've got this idea that a permanent manager versus interim, 2 different expectations. And, you know what I mean? That's where, for me, I've got my concerns is that we do hire him. He's not going to be, the pressure might get to him. You know what I mean? And
I think there's still pressure now. I think there's pressure now.
I don't think there is, you know.
I think there is pressure. When you're coming in and the former manager saying this is the worst Man United squad ever, and he's basically what do they say? One man's trash is another man's treasure. Is that what people say? That's the situation he's in. He's trying to prove these players are not as bad as the former manager made it out. The pressure's there.
But then that's where the problem is. I think the pressure should be on Ineos rather than anything because they're the ones that.
The pressure's always going to be on a United manager, bro. It don't matter what you're doing. There's always going to be pressure if you're a Man United coach.
Blame on Ineos. If we say there's pressure on the manager, then Ineos kind of low-key get away with it because they're like, well, yeah, you're the guy that we brought in for you lot is doing badly, so we don't really have to take accountability and blame. That's the only thing I would say.
But there's pressure on Ineos to deliver after the Carrick decision. So, for example, in my opinion, Carrick they've delivered.
You wouldn't think badly of Carrick if he failed, though. You wouldn't think badly of him.
It's not certain. It depends on how he fails, the manner in which he fails in. It depends.
Yeah,
like if he goes out the way that Amorim did, I would be like, that's pathetic. But if he goes down fighting,
maybe it's because of the league, you know. Maybe it's because of the league as well, how bad the league is as well. Maybe that's why there's a pressure to get the Champions League. The league is robbed. Look at Liverpool. Khalas. You know what I mean? Chelsea are doing all right under their new manager. You know what I mean? Look at that. Like, we're in the top four,
they play Palace who are on holiday. Palace are on holiday.
Palace is falling apart. Their team's falling apart.
I don't know, Mateta's going to Forest, you know. Did you see that, by the way, guys?
Ridiculous.
Yeah, apparently they want to buy him. Yeah, Mateta on the Forest. So I think
and Palace are trying to buy Strand Larsen.
Yeah, Palace is trying to buy
as a
Strand last year,
replacement.
which is crazy.
35, 40 million for Mateta. Well, that's a bargain. That's actually a bargain.
Yeah,
You're
at the same
getting
time,
3 years of good
you could just
football
wait
out.
till the end of the season free. He's free at the end of the season though.
Yeah, but he's asked to leave apparently.
And Waters.
But I don't get though what random. But why is he going to Forest to Palace to Forest is mad. I get he was linked to Juve. That makes sense. But Palace to Forest is a weird one.
You know what though? Forest have a bit more ambition than I'm not gonna lie to you. Nuruddin, you're on the sounds on Nuruddin.
Sorry.
Yeah, I think for me, Nottingham Forest have a bit more ambition than Palace. Palace is selling players. Palace are
The owner wants to win Champions League. He wants them in Europe.
At least with the other guy. Yeah.
Yeah, Palace.
Go on.
Listen, Palace have basically let him down and fell out with the most successful coach in the history of Palace. You know what I mean? Like Leicester is the most successful guy, and they sold Eze. Every summer they're selling somebody, and then he completely lost his head. And now, you know what? They're not sacking Glasner because they don't want to pay him off. They don't want to pay him off the last 3 months.
Exactly.
They don't want to pay the last 3-4 months of. But everything is done there. The players are all demotivated. The players, he starts talking crap about the youngsters other than giving them an opportunity, getting them in the system and trying to get the best out of them. They're conceding goals. Yesterday, the goal that they conceded, I saw the goal that the Brazilian guy scored for Chelsea. What's it? The striker.
João Pedro.
João Pedro. It was like a Sunday. I'm saying, well, it's like a Sunday. You know what João Pedro reminded me yesterday? One of my brothers here, Johnny Moore. Be watching this, Johnny. He reminded me of Johnny taking somebody down there and then banging it in like that. It was like a Sunday league goal. It was like a Sunday league goal. Yeah, individually. But at the end of the day, what I'm talking about, what Nina's talking about, any coach from Manchester United is under pressure because of the club that we are. But I also agree with you, Saeed. It's Ineos, the clowns, and the Glazers who don't know what they're doing with this football club. So for me, I hope that there's a good turnout on a protest on Sunday.
But I'm not gonna lie to you. Is that protest even really gonna hopefully that's not as because now we're on a jolly up in it. So you know what I mean?
No. Saeed, we can separate the two. You can choose.
I don't know. You can
walk at the same time. Now, majority. Listen, well, Saeed, can I just say this? The green and gold, at the height of the green and gold, is when Manchester United won 3 league titles back to back, and we went to 2 Champions League finals. Yeah. That was at the height of the green and gold. And that campaign and those protests happened. It's just that I don't want any of these people to be let off the hook for what they did to the football club. We cannot let them off the hook. But the big thing I would say is that we're going to now see Carrick. What else has he got in his toolbox? Can he open up? Because if we've been honest, I want to be honest, if you look at what happened at Middlesbrough, he struggled against low blocks. He did. Yeah. He struggled. And he only had
in his first 15 games, he struggled against low blocks.
No, after when the things settled down.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So which one is it? My thing is with Carrick. When I look back
let me finish, Musa. Let me finish. You can comment.
Yeah, he didn't struggle. I think
the second season he struggled. The second season he struggled. Yes,
he lost players though that were making it easier for him in his first season.
Listen,
he lost players. Like he didn't have the best squad in his second season.
No, I know that, but what I'm saying to you, you still have to put. It's not about the player who's playing. It's about the system that should open up a low block. And his system, he wasn't to change. I've already made a video about him, balanced video, Musa. But we now see what this Steve Holland guy. And by the way, I don't know if any of you guys know this Steve Holland guy is a United fan. By the way,
he's a United fan. He's from Stockport.
Yeah, right. So we'll see what the game plan they'll have to come up with to open up low blocks. And teams are gonna be when we've got the ball, when we're not as tight, when we're not as compact, when we lose the ball. It's gonna be very interesting to see what kind of team we're gonna be against the 3 teams that are coming up. And yes, I watched your thing with Troops this morning. Yeah, on the way to work, and I say it. I just play because the rumors are they're lining somebody up. I hope and pray still Thomas Frank. But when we played Spurs.
Oh yeah, I know, yeah, 100%, yeah. Like I said, I don't know. I just think for me right now, it's gonna be one of them ones where keep it going, man. Like just keep everything going, keep everything flowing, and you know what I mean. Like everyone's saying, you know what, I want United to play now. You know what I mean? That's how much. You know what I mean? Right now, United, everyone's on a good feel factor. We want United to play now and keep on playing. So Yeah. Vig Shea says if Ten Hag was a criminal, Cameron is a serial killer. I know I'm delusional, but I feel like we're gonna do a Di Matteo season and win the title. Wow, that's very optimistic. Panel Twitter is saying Arteta stops at red light on GTA. Need to big up Carrick for his on the ball work and Holland for his off the ball work. Yeah, I agree. But did you not see the way that the players respect Michael Carrick though? Like, did you see the celebration at the
He's
end?
a serious footballer. I don't think people understand.
I know. Like, I can't lie to you. Like, they respect him very, very highly.
He's a serious footballer.
Yeah, bro. I can't lie.
No joking. I keep saying that.
Man management is clearly evident.
Yeah, you see when he speaks.
Yeah, but he was actually a baller. Have you seen him in training, pinging the ball still?
Yeah, he still got it.
Brother, he's a serious footballer.
Look at him. He got sacked.
Who's
Xabi
that?
Alonso. Xabi Alonso was a baller.
Yeah, but
we know Real Madrid is mad. Real Madrid sacked him and
that's what my point is. It's not solely about
Manchester United is mad.
But come on, look at Musa. He's got sacked to be 4 points off at the top of the league.
You don't think Manchester United are mad?
4 points off top of the league
and without no trophies.
I think you're doing a disservice to Carrick as a coach to put it down to him being a baller. I think
no. I've said Carrick is a serious coach, but he's saying that they really respect him, and I'm saying on top of that, he was a serious. Like a lot of people are looking at him, and there's a lot of people think that you can't get starstruck of meeting someone who you watched a lot and really rated. A lot of people are looking at Carrick like, "Rah, that's Carrick." The same way you look at Iniesta and Xavi when they turn up at your training ground as a youngster and say, "Rah, that's Iniesta and Xavi." People are looking at him like that's Michael Carrick. He's a real deal. This is what I'm thinking. A lot of people are just looking at him like he's just, I don't know, what is drink water. Like man's just drink water or something.
I don't think it's down to him solely as being a baller. I think a big thing is man management. And I think when you come from a manager like Ruben Amorim and then to someone who's very hands-on in his approach, but not just hands-on, very good at
Wallahi, I'm not going to forget Ruben Amorim. I'm not going to forget him. And you just reminded me again, Mina. Wallahi, I'm not going to forget. You know why, Saeed? When you forget how bad times are, that's when you get what? That's when you become complacent. Do you know how bad it was? I can't forget that. If we, you know, Carrick has come in and given us 2 great games, and everyone's excited thinking that this is normal. This is not normal for us.
Facts.
It's not normal. The way we played, it's not like we've just done some smash and grab with Carrick, and we don't know how we flipping won these 2 games. We know how we won these 2 games. We saw how we won these 2 games. We saw the coaching on the field. And I just feel like to underestimate that by forgetting how bad it was under Ruben Amorim. My man told us every time Dorgu gets the ball, there's anxiety in the stadium or something. What did he say?
Yeah, you
can
feel the anxiety when Dorgu's got the ball.
That's nasty. Then he said, "Come in."
That's what I'm saying. And when you come from a manager like that who has undermined play, like it's very easy. I think it's very easy to come in as a coach, and if you treat the players properly, they will buy into it. And Wayne Rooney was talking about it on Match of the Day last night. He was saying it's not even the fact that the players like Carrick; they like him because he's so well spoken. But he's very individual. He's very individual with his regiment at Manchester United. He talks to everybody separately. He doesn't call people out publicly. Even today, shout out Sully. Sully was saying that United got back at midnight last night, and then this morning they have the day off, but the coaching staff were at Carrington watching tape, and then they went and watched the under-21s game after he was at Old Trafford to watch the game with the under-18. So he's clearly making himself familiar with everyone in the hierarchy of the football structure, because if you want to get the young players and the older players to respect you and like you, you got to get them to buy into your system. And there's no better way to get people to buy into your system. I always say this, fear versus respect. If people respect you, then they will go above and beyond for you. If people fear you, they're gonna hate you. That's it. And I think that's the difference with, like, when you've gone from Ruben Amorim that has cussed people basically publicly and annihilated them, young players, and picked them out, and you got a manager that knows how to work with the young players, it's very easy, I think, to get them to buy into that. And I think man management is what Man United need in a coach, as well as the tactical nous. You need to get the man management bang on.
Yeah.
Wasn't the stories that Amorim went to that Wilcox and said he needs like 7 or 8 new players or something? Was before he got sacked. There was them stories.
He needed a whole new squad. Yeah, he said
imagine. Man said he needs a whole new squad, you know. And this is what these same players are doing. He had us thinking, like I said, that we need to get Conor Gallagher and let Kobe Mainoo go out on loan. That is the biggest crime ever. I didn't even know Conor Gallagher went to Spurs. Man told me he's over there trying to make it happen.
Crazy, man. But listen, we're going to wrap it up here, man. We're still not on 500 likes, guys. I don't know what's going on. You know what I mean? You lot are just mocking the likes, guys. Let's get these likes up to 500, at least minimum. Big up to everyone locked in. Make sure you subscribe.
I just want to say something. Just my last comment. Just say so happy for Cockney Reds. Anybody down south there?
Yeah.
Make sure this week you absolutely drink it in. You absolutely remind.
Oh, they were there. You know when I went to London, they were all on the tube. I was going in and you're gonna get smacked up today. Yeah, you going to your funeral? I was like, yo. I said, listen, you just give them that smile. You know.
I'm not gonna lie to you. I know you were in the Big Six here, but when the United Cunha scored, the stadium went silent, and all you can hear is United. United. Wallahi, I'm telling you, I was watching it on Sky. Yeah, it went like the crowd were like, Cunha whips it. All I can hear the back of the neck, that whip.
You hear the net,
wallahi, silent, and some of them started walking out.
Wow.
The celebration was different.
Guys, one thing I will say quickly, I've been to the Emirates a couple of times for work, and I remember I went for a Champions League Bayern Munich game. When Arsenal concede at the Emirates, and this is why I know a lot of Arsenal fans that complain about like the crowd, you can feel the nerves because everyone goes quiet. They go silent. And I've seen it in real time. And then I saw it again yesterday. I was like, I felt like it was Old Trafford, the way the away end was jumping. You know, I realized there's no better away end than the Emirates. Everybody has a great time at the Emirates. They're jumping every time.
And we're dancing again. You're dancing again.
Cunha giving it.
Cunha's dancing.
And you know what? One guy who's definitely is Manny. Not many people know Manny. I've met him a couple of times. He was the bass player for the Stone Roses.
Yeah.
So, that's why they came out with that kit. He would have been proud of that, man. I'm telling you. Big up R.I.P. Manny.
Did you not see Ashley Young, by the way, in the away end?
Yeah, Ashley Young, He's always been a Red United fan. That's what I'm saying. And Carrick as well, innit? So
Carrick and his kids were there. And Alessandro and his dad.
Dad. Big up Alessandro, man. We're all behind him. But listen, people, we're going to wrap it up here. Minot, big up to you as always. Thank you for coming on.
Yeah.
Big up to you, man. Make sure you follow Minot's channel, Minot Football. Most big up to you as always, man. Love, bro.
I'm here.
Yeah. So I'm going to be live tomorrow. I'm going to be live tomorrow. Champions League.
Big up, man. Big up to United.
Big up people. Yeah, big up people. Go and check. If you're not seen my instant match reaction, check it out. Because I give it to them. I went back to George Graham and Tony Pulis, mate. They tried to do a flipping smash and grab.
1-0 to the Arsenal.
Set piece merchants. Football won yesterday. It was justice.
Facts.
And you know what?
Football
showed how you can score worldies. We give them one and another one. And I'm so happy for Cunha. I'm so happy for Cunha. Because he was getting a bit of a stick on the Ruben Amorim, but it didn't fit him. That system didn't. And the idea that he's coming on now, he's saying to Carrick, I want to start. That tells you something different.
Absolutely. Salute people, man. Big up everyone locked in. Smash a like on the video. Subscribe if you're new. Can we go 3 out of 3? By the time we come here next Monday, United 3 out of 3. Maybe then Musa might be a title charge. Take care. Bye.
Second half of the season, we're doing a title charge. Yeah.